What's up, guys? This is Westpoint Steve. We are submitting Final Fight Guy for SGDQ 2021. This is the any percent run for Guy. We're gonna play as Guy in this run. This is the SNES version of Final Fight Guy. This is the version where Guy is a playable character. And he is not a playable character in the original Final Fight for SNES, and that's due to the fact that they didn't have enough room to put him in the original game when they first made the game, so they made a separate game to put him in and take Cody out. So this is the run with Guy in it, and so we're going to go along and just talk about the run and get right into it. So here we go. Alright, so when doing this run, you put it on easy. You just hold L and R on the gamepad and hit start, and you can select your easy mode. You can select the lives as high as you want and go from there, and that's what we do in this run. Just to make the gameplay easier and to make sure you make it all the way to the end. By the end of the game, I'll have a whole bunch of lives, and I can guarantee that I'll have a safe run here. Alright, we're going to estimate this run to be about 35 minutes. As you can see, I'm just taking out guys right off the bat, so I'll get into more of the specifics on the run here shortly, because this first stage is pretty easy.
There we go, that's fast.
So it's a 35-minute estimate, just because of RNG based stuff, and just for safety purposes of how the run might go. There's some things that could happen. Even though it says easy, doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be easy. If you've ever played any Final Fight games, those games are not easy whatsoever. Especially the first one. The first one is probably one of the most difficult of the 3 games that are around for the SNES. And so we'll show you how this game is different from the actual first one. As you can see, there is a lot less enemies than there is in actually the first game itself. And so if you ever played the first game and compare the two, there's less enemies in this version of the game. And Guy has a little bit of similarity to what Cody does in the actual game. And it's this move where I'm going to be using an infinite punch, and we're going to see it on the first boss fight here coming up. And so it's very important to utilize this infinite on this boss fight right here. So I'm going to do a couple knee kicks there. Knee kicks hold the most damage for Guy. And then I'm going to do this. So I'm going to keep Thrasher in an infinite, where I do 2 punches and then move over and keep the punches going in a loop, where I just keep them going and going and going, and then I'll end the fight with more knee kicks to take him out. Again, knee kicks are a lot more damage than the actual punches, and so I will do that to kind of clean up enemies at the very end, sometimes if they're not clustered together. But that is round 1 in a nutshell. It's a very short stage. It's the shortest stage of the 5, and so here we go. Alright, we're going to utilize this backwards jumping ability that Guy has. It's very common in these Final Fight games where jumping backwards is actually faster than jumping forward. And what I just tried to pull off there was trying to pull off a despawn, but it doesn't work. And there's the first time you see me do a overjoy. Overjoys kind of help you clear out enemies when you get surrounded by them, and I'll do that from time to time just to keep me from not getting sucked in with an enemy or two. So here's another idea of keeping the enemy into a loop. And what I'm trying to do is I was trying to get the other guy that comes with the Billy.
Jake?
And as you can see, he's not cooperating. This Jake guy is not cooperating. But trying to get this Jake to cluster over, so I'm taking more guys out with the punches and keeping the infinite loop going with the punches. And as you can see, I'm doing this off screen with Simons. And that's important there. Knowing where placement of enemies are is also an important thing as you're moving along throughout the game.
This is a bad start.
So there's that short section there.
Yeah. So you're doing yours.
Alright, so in the train now, guys with less health, this is the difference between the actual Final Fight game and in Final Fight Guy, is that these enemies will have less health than the actual game itself. And so there's 2P's not being a friend. Slash is not being a friend either. This is the world record run for this game. By the way, this is a 29:53 run that we'll have at the end here. And so this is
you got Aladdin in there too?
The run, even though it doesn't look like it's going very well. And it did not go very well when we started off this run, by the way.
Dude,
so I was doing this run, and I was preparing. As you can see, there's a RGL TV Retrothon 2021. This is being featured for that event coming up here in a few weeks.
And here you are.
And so I got this run. I was doing some practice and got this run out of it, which was caught me super off guard. I was not prepared for seeing this run happen. Didn't think it could go this fast at the moment. I was trying to get good, respectable times, trying to get 30 minutes. As you can see, the world record previously was 30:24 by Comalito. And so then there's the idea that I want to cluster the guys together, get the infinite punching going.
So
it's very important to get that throughout the game.
It's a big
you'll see me from time to time just trying to get guys in a loop. And sometimes a guy will come in just like the Billy did and kind of throw me off into that punch. And so it's not easy to do, but when you get all three guys, just like I did there for a moment, and getting these two guys together makes things a lot easier. And there we go. Got the Andor. Now I'm going to take care of him with a couple of knees since he's the last guy on screen. Usually I try to do that, make sure that the last guy on the screen gets a couple of knees to the gut.
This run is
and take him out really quickly.
Is kicking my butt right now.
A little bit about myself. I'm a speedrunner that loves to play these beat 'em up games. Beat 'em up games are more my forte. I love this beat 'em up games more than anything, I guess. My favorite games are definitely the Mega Man series and all that kind of stuff when I was growing up, but I've taken a love for speedrunning these beat 'em up games because I just love the idea of just taking out people as fast as possible.
Yeah, let's try to get
and
that.
So as you can see here, this 2P's not cooperating. And again, last enemy and taking him out with some knees.
Sweet.
So here's the Katana fight. The Katana fight, Katana
all
can give me some weird patterns here, but there's the backwards kick, jump kicks there. Katana, you want to use your strongest move, and so I'm going to use my strongest move, which is the grab with the knee kicks, and I'll use the punching to help me to get Katana and grab him. And that's a new move that I've been utilizing there, because sometimes Katana will move very quickly into a spot, and so I want to punch where I think he's going to go. And then, as you can see, I took a couple shots there, but that's okay. So Katana is in a spot where he's about to die, and so what I want to do is I want to get him off screen.
Yeah, this is
it makes the death animation go a lot faster, and that is round 2.
Try to get that.
That's the fight for Katana. You don't want to punch him because he will not lose health when you punch him. Okay, every 2 stages we have a bonus stage here, and this is what you're going to do first. You're going to break this car. And you want to stand in this pixel perfect spot where you're hitting 2 places at once with the car, and then you grab this pipe and you're just like gonna hack away at this. You hack away, boom, and finally at 14, dude, we're done.
Try to
all right, perfect, we did it, yay! We destroyed a car. We destroyed a car that says Japan on it. And then this guy comes in, he's like, no, that's my car, man. That's my car. Anyway, there's the first bonus round. There's nothing they'll get around it. You want to just beat up that car as fast as possible. All right, the next thing we're going to do is round 3 here. Now we're going into a restaurant, and we're going to have some fun here. So guys are coming out, both sides. 3 guys come out max, so you don't get any more than that. We can't handle any more than 3 apparently, so we're taking 3 guys out max here. And again, I'm going to try to get this infinite loop going, but sometimes I want to throw the guy over so I could keep a loop going. And I got the Andor finally, and he's off screen, so I'm not going to be able to grab him, but I can grab him and toss him, and that's all I can do there.
Phase.
Using the backward jumping to get to the next screen is a lot faster than doing normal jumps, so you want to do that as you go throughout this run. All right, breaking barrels is an important concept. You'll see me do that pretty often in this run, where I'm breaking barrels to get guys in. More sprites that are on screen, the less people that come out. So if barrels are sitting there, that means nobody's coming out. And they're not coming out pretty fast. So if you break everything, guys come out. But the one thing you don't want to have happen is have too many things on the screen. So like those two knives on the bottom, those two knives on the bottom are not too bad. But when you start getting more people on screen, it starts getting worse because then it starts lagging up. So if you have 3 guys on screen and you have a lot of knives on the ground, it starts to lag up and it makes the game slower. So you'll see me, what I'll do is I'll try to take out, throw away some knives every once in a while when I get the chance.
All right.
This section here is a ridiculous section. All you got to do is just throw an Andor to the other side and grab this sword and start hacking away. Sword does a lot of damage, but the problem here with these Andors is these Andors, they have a vulnerability frames after you've knocked them down, which makes it like not good for you if you're trying to punch them. If you sit there try to punch them, it's not good. They will hit you regardless of what you try to do. And so here we go. We got a couple big dudes here. Call the big dudes. And these big dudes do exactly that. It's not fun here.
Dude,
we're on the last section of this round 3. And as you can see, I was trying to get that. And if I can't find the guy off screen, I will utilize my overjoy just to get him off screen. And to do overjoy, you could set it 2 ways. In the menu that you had at the beginning, you could change the overjoy to a single button, or I think they call it extra joy actually, but that's okay. I like overjoy better. Or you could do like I like to do it, and to do it is you just hold the punch button and then you press jump. So all you got to do is just do that, and you're fine to do the extra joy or overjoy, like I like to call it. And there's the Billy, there's the J, and take out the Billy. There you go.
Okay.
All right, Eddie is the next boss fight. He looks like a cop. What you want to do is you don't want to go all the way to the full screen. If you go full screen onto where he is, and go all the way over to him, you start spawning in enemies. But if you stay off to the side and just have him come to you, once you see him and once he sees you, he comes to you, and that is a good thing, because then you can just do this as the boss fight, and then once you're down to his like yellow health, he will start running from you.
Oh, there's gonna be a lot.
That's why you want to not have enemies on screen. So we utilize that as the boss fight, and there's the boss fight. It's pretty easy. I utilized again the knee kicks because the knee kicks are more powerful than the punches. And so there's the fight in a nutshell. It's a pretty easy fight. And now we're on to round 4. Round 4 is the hardest out of all the rounds in the game. I'm just gonna point that out to everybody right now. And when you watch this run, it's just, if you compare this to the actual Final Fight game, this round is just notorious for continues and losing your 1cc opportunity. There's the instance where you get the despawn. So what I did was I took a guy and I threw him off to the left side. Since you're always going right, if you get close enough to the left side of the screen and take a guy and grab him and throw him against other enemies, and you do your jump kicks backwards as fast as possible, you could despawn enemies, and that will help later in this run. That's something you want to try to do, especially with the big health enemies like the Andors. Andors, I utilize that a ton with in this last stage, and you'll see that when we get to that point here. Alright, so here's things that can lag up the game. These barrels, those are things that can lag up the game. And unlike the first game itself, in Final Fight Guy, you can get continues by blowing up the barrels like this. And just like that, I got continues. And you can also get the no damage boost. And that's also helpful, especially that would be actually very helpful if you play the original Final Fight SNES game, because that is just, it's ridiculously hard as is already. Alright, these Billies and these Sids, these guys are notorious for getting these jump kicks on you, and I try to get rid of that Billy to no avail though. I tried to get rid of the Billy, but I couldn't jump fast enough. So as you can see, I'm trying to utilize the backwards kick because it's so quick to get to the next part of the screen. And I want to get rid of those enemies, especially like Simon, stuff like that, where they have a lot of health. Alright, so this section here is just, you got a lot of dudes just coming in with little health. These yellow Jays will have little health. You also will see these slashes. Slashes are terrible because sometimes they'll just be like, hey, you know what, I'm just going to start blocking your... Yeah, just like that. I'm just going to start blocking you. So the best way to get rid of slashes is try to grab them before they hit you. Slashes deal a ton of damage. They will like basically take their hands above their head and then like hit you over the head, and you lose like over half your health. It's ridiculous. So here we go. I'm going to try to use again the idea of getting rid of some enemies here. So I'm going to utilize this side of the screen to try to get rid of some dudes, and I believe I did there. Nope, I got rid of one guy.
Dang it.
Got rid of one guy. I got rid of the bread, the guy that I did not want. I wanted to get rid of the 2P guy.
He was just like,
alright, so you got these
Captain
Hollywoods
Insane
that are
shows
red.
no mercy.
They throw these like
he
Molotov cocktails down on the ground that
straight
explode and fire comes out of them. You get hit by that thing, it's ridiculously terrible. You lose a good chunk of health. So there you go. We're going to take care of this Billy. This Billy's the last guy on the screen. Again, I'm going to use these knee kicks to help take him out faster. And I'm going to use my Overjoy here to take out these dudes, to get rid of these Hollywoods a little bit faster and get them to throw the little things. So this stage here is boss fight is Abigail, and this is, like I said, these stages get longer and longer as we go along, because the first stage was like 2 minutes. Like every stage increases the length. I'm not even kidding when I say that either. Each stage gets longer and longer. And in the guy run, it's a little bit worse than the Haggard run, because Haggard produces a lot more damage, and whereas Guy doesn't produce a lot of damage with his punches. And there's a random, okay, I'm just gonna Hollywood just decided, hey, you know what, we're just gonna do that. But here's where I get a good triple and just taking guys out. And there's the Elgato. Elgato is just like, nope, not today, man, not today. Alright. But this is what I'm talking about. You want to try to get as many guys as possible to try to do their thing. Try to get your clusters together and trying to keep guys in the infinite where you just keep punching and punching. Now this is where, like I said, now I have 3 knives on the ground, and this is where things get a little dicey. But since these 2 are the last 2 guys, it's a little bit, it's not as painful. In the actual Final Fight game, there's a lot more dudes in that section, and it just takes forever. But the more knives accumulate, the worse it gets for lag, because it just starts lagging up when you have more dudes on screen, plus the knives on the ground. Alright, so I'm going to try to utilize the despawning again in this section here. This is a long section here of dudes coming in and out. And so this is important to try to get the nice little... And Simon's is the one you want to get rid of. So there's me trying to get rid of Simon's. And we were not successful. We were not successful. So it's like, it's not very easy to do that maneuver. You have to do it quick. You have to be on the very far left side, and you got to do it as soon as you throw the guy, you have to move over to the other side. You'll see round 5, it's more successful there, where it's a little bit more needed with certain enemies. All right. Looks like we're in New York City, but they won't say that in the game. But there's the Statue of Liberty. Alright, now we're going to head closer. We got one more section here. Food's important throughout the whole game. Food's going to help you get your health back. Haven't really talked about that, but getting the food is very important, especially if you're in a bind and you know certain sections are coming up. Here we go, Abigail Fight. All right, to take care of Abigail, we're gonna do this: couple punches, couple knees, and then I started that off way wrong. I did not want to do that. So what you're gonna do is I'm gonna grab him and start tossing him, and right when I toss him,
apparently you can grab me now.
I'm able to pick him up again. That's the only way I can pick him up again, which is pretty interesting, given the fact that Abigail is the worst boss fight in the game. As you can see, I died again. Okay, and what we're gonna try to do. So since I got all the enemies dead, I'm just gonna focus on Abigail now, and I'm gonna do some knee kicks and throw him. And so now I could just focus on knee kicking and throwing him the entire time. And every time he gets up, I'll be able to grab him by just moving. If you don't move, you will not grab him. So it's important to keep moving and grabbing him. There's no other way to get Abigail to come into in there. You have to go all the way over to the screen, and no matter what, you're going to be facing enemies. So it's faster to get rid of the enemies first and then taking out Abigail one by one. One-on-one versus having the enemies and Abigail at the same time. So here's another bonus stage. What we're going to do is we're going to punch these three. We're going to utilize the jumping backwards. Whee! Jumping flip, woohoo, yay. And then we're going to punch those. And then I don't want a forward flip, but
dang, there we go.
When you're in a bind, you just do it.
Your butt off.
You want to hit those last four, and that ends the bonus stage. No perfect, just ends the bonus stage, and that's it.
There's so much to learn.
Okay, we're in the final round here. We're going to face against Belgian. And again, as you can see, there's a little lag there, and it's due to the fact that you got those barrels coming in, you got dudes coming in all at the same time. It's not fun to do. And again, I got a knife there on the ground, so if I can get rid of that other things that are on the ground, like the cola and the food that I just picked up and the extra life, that eliminates a lot of the lag. And there's more barrels. Again, getting rid of the barrels is important. Also getting rid of the things that you get on the ground. That knife is really not really going to be important to get rid of, as the lag is not too crazy right now. But I will utilize that no damage just right now where I just picked it up. Utilizing that no damage really helps because of the fact that, one, you're not going to get hit. Two, you can just walk up to the guy and just grab him. If he thinks he's going to try to kick you, he's not going to. Alright, so here we go. We're going to get almost done with this first section here in this stage. Utilizing that chandelier to take care of half that health for that Jake is very important. He's a lot easier to take care of, and since he's not really focused on hitting me right now, that's why I took the Simons and just did some knee hits on him. Alright, so now we're getting into the end of the first part here. You get these whole bunch of these dudes here. Andor, Hollywood. You get a Orbiter, and then you get this one little J, and that's it. Moving on to the next section. So now we're outside. We're in like this nice little outside area with palm trees. Twin towers are in the background. There's a little side note there. I mean, that looks like to me the Twin Towers in New York City from a long time ago. So getting through this section, there's a lot of things going to go on here. We're going to utilize the idea of trying to despawn enemies. Knowing when enemies come in versus when they don't is going to be important play here. We're going to use this here shortly. We're going to take out these dudes here. We got another Andor. We got two P's. We got J's. We're just going to use the infinite to our advantage. Taking these dudes out. Alright, as you can see, I'm kind of in the middle of the screen, and there's a reason for that. I'm trying to take out guys in the middle, and you'll see that I'll have some Hollywoods coming up here soon. And the Hollywoods are important to take care of in the middle, because you can hit all of them at once, and I just got owned by a fire. But that's okay, because my health was easier to take the death there and go on to the next life than to just take that hit. Alright, here we go. We got we got a Jake here. We're gonna utilize
no,
the little hits there, but then Simon says, you know what, I'm gonna come and get you anyway. We're gonna utilize that. All right, we got more Hollywoods with their fire. Again, me getting hit by that. I mean, that's the third time you've seen me get hit by that, but that's okay. At this point of the game, I have enough lives to get me to the rest of the game. I have more than 9 lives. Like, it accumulates more than 9 lives, but it doesn't say it, and so you'll see that. All right. So this is areas where I'm going to try to utilize the best I can to get these despawns happening. So like right here, I'm trying to get a despawn.
A couple dudes right here.
And I got rid of the Billy, and so that's important because the Billy is got a lot more health than the Sid. So I'd rather have the Billy go away than the Sid. It would be preferred if I had lost both of them, but that's okay. Alright, so we're going to utilize this idea again because these are long hallways. So we're in the long hallway in this, I guess, big old hotel or tower or whatever we are at.
I'll be playing with Guy.
Belgian Tower. Alright, again, we're going to get rid of the barrels. I want the third guy to pop in sooner rather than later. I want to make sure he's done really quickly. I'm avoiding those swords like the plague because I do not want to pick those up. You can't get rid of them. Like in Streets of Rage, you could get rid of the weapons that you pick up, but in Final Fight, you can't. Other than the knives, you could throw the knives, but you can't get rid of anything else. Okay, so Andor is the guy I'm focused on to get rid of, and I am going as fast as I can to get rid of him, and I do.
No, I didn't.
I got rid of both the Andor Jr. and Andor, and that's very important because both of those guys have a lot of health to get through.
That is a tough.
All right, now we're getting into almost the last section of this long hallway, and I'm going to utilize it a couple more times again, where I want to get rid of enemies because we'll have some barrels and stuff to help us out get rid of people. And again, the sprites really help us out near the end of this game. So I'm going to utilize the sprites as best as I can to get rid of these enemies. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw those guys, and once I hit the barrels, they will then disappear, and then you'll have your Doug and Bread. Yes, they named the guy named Bread. So I'm going to get rid of those two guys. Those two guys' health are actually not that bad. I'm not actually too concerned about that. And there we go. We're now moving on to the last section of this, and this is straight up fighting. You can't do anything here to get rid of guys, but utilize this door area to just group them together, and they have nowhere to go, and that's what you want to do. And the cool thing about Hollywoods is Hollywoods will get up super quickly, so you can just take them out with ease like that. Knowing what's coming up the next thing, and there's the 4th time I got hit by one of those fire things. But that's okay because you know what? We're just going to stick these guys over here in this door and say, hey, you know what? Get out of here. Get out of here. You're done. You're done, Billy. Just cluster them together, use the infinite punches, and then you're good to go. All right. We're going to use, again, the idea of despawning enemies on this section here again. So I'm going to take out a couple breads. We're going to take out these dudes here. I'm going to utilize the idea again with the Andors. The Andors are very important enemies to utilize this idea on because they just have a lot of health. There's hidden food behind the pillars and hidden points behind these pillars. And so when you play the original game, those pillars are like your saving grace because you're losing health left and right because they're probably destroying you at this point in the game. But in this version of the game, you don't need to.
Crucial part right here.
You don't need to worry about those too much. I just like picking them up just for fun. But here we go. We're going to. I didn't get rid of the Andor Jr. like I wanted to, so I threw the Andor just now. And now I have a J, and then I have a Sid, and then I have a Billy. That means I got rid of both of them, and that was very important. Getting rid of those two Andors really helped me achieve this world record. It actually saves a bunch of time trying to get those guys done. Now you get into this last section here. No matter what you can do here, you're gonna have to face the Andors and the Billies.
He saved my life.
And Andor was just like, you know what, you're gonna get hit. Simon's is,
And
they're surrounding me there, so there's nothing I could do. I still pick up the food after the fact. Oh, you know what? I should have picked up the food after all. But here I'm just utilizing my punch and pressing the buttons as fast as I can. That's another thing that I'm doing the entire time. I'm like really button pressing these the hit button very, very fast so that I can make sure if I do get a and/or charging, I am guaranteed that he will get hit first before he hits me. Alright, and then finally we got the last Billy out of the way. We're going to move it on to the Belgian Fight. And the Belgian Fight is going to be a little bit different than all the other fights that we've done so far. So I'm going to grab him initially, and I'm going to toss him, let him jump, and I'm going to use the overjoy kick the entire time. When you use the overjoy here, you're going to use the overjoy kick to just take him out. I mean, you just sit here and that's all you do. If you do anything else, he will have vulnerability frames and he will not get hit. So he'll be invulnerable for a few seconds, and he will hit you with that gun he has. It's like a arrow gun, and I'm going to take it I'm going to take a death on purpose there because I can't do anything else at the moment other than get hit by him. So what I'm going to do here again is I'm just going to do this strat again where I'm just doing the overjoy kick over and over again. Once it gets into the yellow and once he gets halfway into his yellow health, he'll jump over to the right. Just do the same thing, wait for him, and then boom, there it is, and that's it. That's the run. Some of these ideas are similar with Cody in the actual Final Fight game, and so this makes this run just randomly that much easier to do and perform. As you can see, I saved almost 55 seconds on that last stage. And that was due to the fact that I was able to despawn some Andors that helped me a ton. They take a lot of time just to take down just by themselves. So 29:53 run. There you go. There you have it. This run's a fun run to do. It's got a lot of quirks to it that you probably never knew what would happen in the game itself. But at the same time, it's an entertaining run because you never know what's going to happen with RNG with the guys. Some of the guys will just do something where they just keep running away from me, and you're like, "Come on, you're the last guy." Or or you'll have it where Abigail decides to just grab me a ton.
That is new world record.
It's just like, what am I supposed to do with that?
That is new world record.
Abigail's probably the worst fight all of them. But this is like I said, a 35-minute run. It's a safe run for this game. You'll have a lot of lives, and you'll make it all the way to the end. I've never done a GDQ before, but I would love to do a GDQ. I've watched it for the last few years. I say I've been watching since like 2016 when I found out about it.
Terrible.
And haven't put it down since. I love watching the marathon runs that you all give me. They all give us. And been watching it ever since 2016. Love it. Love the runs. Love the games that you guys do. And so, like I said, I'm going to be playing this for Retrothon 2021 and showcasing this run for sure. And it's a fun run. Guy's a fun character, and I hope you consider this for a run for the marathon this year. And there you go. Let's challenge the other mode. That's right. Let's challenge the other mode. But it's an 80%, so there you go. All right. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.